Well, just to check in. Haven't been on for a while. I figured I would update everyone as to the status of this old girl. Uh, well, got her on the road, got everything done. I've put about 200 kilometers on it, 5 kilometers at a time, just up and down the road trying to get things right. So the alignment was off when I bought it. I knew that. So the front end was tight, and honestly, as anybody who saw my videos knows, I've touched just about every single bolt and nut front to back on the entire car. And the only thing I didn't do was the front suspension. I did the sway bar, but that was it. So the alignment was way off. I bought everything, learned how to do the alignment myself, and got it set up good. And I would go up the road, felt great, hit a bump, it would change. And then I'd reset it, and same thing would happen again. Changing, constantly changing. So finally, I jacked it up one more time after doing this too many times. And I found that the lower ball joint on the passenger side was gone. And it was like flopping gone. So, and it's funny because it was tight. Literally, it went through inspection probably 3 days prior. The guy, tested everything, checked it all out. It was tight. But probably rust in there because the front end components are probably, who knows, they could be original for all we know, 53 years old. So, no big deal. I bought lower control arms, threw them in, and set her all up again, went up the road, felt awesome, and I thought, hey, I've seen this before with this car. So I did a hard right and a hard left corner, and literally squealed one tire all the way home. It was so far out. So, the season's over basically as far as car shows and shit here in New Brunswick go, because everything kind of ends early because they used to get pretty horrific winters. I don't think it's quite what it used to be. But either way, so I was always going to do the entire front suspension anyways over the winter. So I said, fuck it. We're parking this car for this year. So, yeah, I'm just going to piece away at it because by the time I already got the lowers, I'll do the uppers, I'll do inner and outer tie rods, idler arm, like everything, and realign it in the spring, and it'll be 100%. So the other thing I did is I just finished this, putting all this. I tore it down, and I actually went back to the HO cam from the E303 Motorsport cam. Well, it's not Motorsport anymore, Ford Performance. Just because, I don't have a stall converter and gears and everything, and as cool as the idle is, it's just, with such a tight converter, this is the Cleveland converter. They seem tighter than even the original old 302 converters did. They probably are because those motors made so much torque. Either way, I just, this thing is, especially after driving it now, I know where it was at for power, and, I just wanted it just to be a super nice driver. So, and the HO cam is great. So I haven't, I got my intake gaskets in last night at 9 o'clock. They were delivered from Amazon, and that was the last thing to do. I threw it all back together last night. It's dried overnight, a little bit of, the sealant around the front and back and so on. So I'm just going to add some coolant to it right now, and I'll do a little fire up to add to this video, I guess, and we'll see how boring it sounds with a stock cam. But the other thing is it'll be super easy to tune, and it'll be it should be pretty nice. So I'm gonna do that right now and set the timing, and then reset the carb, and should be fun. So we'll be back shortly. Okay, I'm back. So I installed the HO cam and the old 302. Best thing I could have possibly done for this thing, as far as just being a cruiser. What an amazing difference. I set this thing up in like friggin' no time. The carburetor was like, I used the vacuum gauge to set the screws, and it was so simple. It was just unbelievable. It's just such a difference between between the E303 and the HO cam. I think the E303 is probably just a shade aggressive. If it was a standard car, or again, if I had a converter in it, that'd be different. And I don't want to put a converter in this ancient FMX. It works really good, and I just don't want to tax it any more than I have to. I want to keep it working good for now. If I'm ever going to do a converter and a big cam and everything, I'll go AOD or maybe 4R70W with a controller, and then I can run some 411 gears and have some real fun. Make it all worthwhile. But for now, just a cruiser, as I've always said. But man, oh man, what a difference. It just, I had to pull the mechanical advance out of it. I had it set for, I want to say, I think I was around 20 degrees or, no, about 18 degrees of mechanical advance on this. So I pulled my limiter out, and I think it's at 23 degrees now, and that's good because it was a little harder starting with the tighter overlap and stuff on the cam, or the less duration. So it kind of turned over a little harder, so now it fires right up. And man, you want to talk about smooth, I can't believe it runs just perfect. So this will probably be my last video until, I would say, likely spring, unless I get into some crazy stuff. Just gotta pick and piece away at all the stuff that I didn't do when I was, like for instance, I'm going to buy the side stripes. I was going to paint them on, but it's got good ones on the front. They fucked them up on the sides. So I'll finish the side tape stripes. That's going to really make this thing look better. I like the way they look with the stripes. Like I said before, front suspension, we know we got to do absolutely every piece of that's going to be done. Who knows, maybe I'll get some quarter windows that don't have this fancy lettering on them. Silly things like the shifter is kind of floppy, so I'm going to decide, and that's normal for these. That happened at about 40,000, 50,000 miles, I think. My volt gauge in the middle here isn't working. I know she's charging good, but I want to be able to keep an eye on it when I'm out cruising. I haven't even cleaned the interior yet. I got to do that. And the door rubber around here for the actual door itself, I put the new rubbers in up here, obviously. I got the rubbers for the door, I just haven't installed those. So I'll do that. And, there's just a bunch of little things that by the time I pull it out, when I do again, it'll be ready to go. I like the fact, well, I don't like it, but I mean, it's got just one mirror, and it originally had just one mirror. I'd like to leave it that way, but man, when I bought this, I obviously didn't drive it, and I'd never driven one, and people were talking about the visibility out the back of these. Holy fuck, man. You can't see anything. And for the sake of it, I am very tempted to buy myself a second mirror and install it on this side, perhaps. I don't know. We'll see. I don't really want to. If it didn't have it, I don't want it, kind of thing. Like, I want to keep it. I mean, it's far from original, but I want to keep it, somewhat original. But yeah, I got to get her covered up. She's getting dusty again already just from being in here. And, you know, lots of little things. Maybe I'll replace these wavy screens. You can buy replacements for those. Hopefully they come straight and flat. I don't know what all. Just again, suspension's the big thing, and it's probably going to be $500 to $700 for all the parts that I need. So I figured, you know what, it's late enough in the season. I've spent like $200 to $400 on this thing every 2 weeks when I get paid for, I can't even tell you how long. And I wouldn't even tell too many people how much money I got into this car when it's all done, but I might be able to sell it for what I got into it, but I really don't care. These things, when they get like this, it's, as most people know, it is just a labor of love, and that's what it was and what it is, and no regrets, that's for sure. I'm sure there's a bunch of other stuff I'm going to pick away at. I just can't remember it all, but either way, I'm going to do a fire up for you guys. You can hear again how boring it is with the stock cam, but man, does it ever run nice. So I'm pretty happy with it. So we'll go ahead and do that, and I will return yet again. The other thing I didn't mention, by the way, is with this new cam, or old cam, or original style cam, the HO, it definitely is going to need some more aggressive muffler setup. Yeah, it's pretty docile, as you'll hear in the fire up video, especially at idle. So, well, the flow, you can't go wrong with the Flowmaster 40s. They sound amazing on these 302s. Everybody knows that. They're probably the best sounding, but I hate the drone. Again, not only am I too old for fucking around with a lumpy cam anymore, I'm also too old for drone, especially a lot of drone. So I'm not going to deal with that. So I'm thinking maybe Spintech 9000 Pro Street or the Black Widow Venom 250. One of those two probably will be the muffler that I land on, because if you don't have the aggressive idle, you might as well have an aggressive muffler to try and make up for it, right? So, you know, like all the guys with the pickup trucks with the dual exhaust, but everything else is stock, right? So anyways, we'll get on with this. Okay, it's not quite a cold start because it was running earlier, but I had to go get some more coolant. I put 8 liters in it. I thought that would do it, but it takes about 10 or 11, so that's fine. Yeah, you hear the new cam, original cam, whatever. So I'll give her a fire up and see how she runs. Definitely a lot different, that's for sure. So that's how she will remain, at least for now. I'd still like to do some aluminum heads on this thing and make a bit more power, but that ain't gonna happen this winter. I've spent enough on this. I just want to enjoy it. So anyways, don't know when we'll see you again, but we will, I'm sure, at some point. Thanks for watching. This one's just about done. Now we'll have to start another project. Start doing another batch of videos. How's that sound? Gotta find that 65 Comet. Gotta be one out there somewhere that needs a little bit of love. Or a lot. Take care, everybody.